taxi.
I should have
game show guy.
No, cash cab.
Cash cab. We got cameras everywhere.
Yeah, so
and trick out the ceiling with lights.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not gonna stay.
we are ill prepared to do our first
It's
podcast.
gonna be a wad of gum.
So, if we were going to do a podcast, this would be a great. That's why the name of the podcast being Two Idiots at Four Wheels is genius, because we have no idea what we're doing. We have no guests. We have no show rundown.
Anyone
no
calling
topics.
in?
We have no phone number for anyone to call in if they wanted to call in and observe our show. And I thought about it, and I'm like, so what if we do a podcast? First, we should say it's show number 001.
Maybe -1 the first one.
Of possibly none or two. Or infinity, who knows? So I guess it's important to note that this is number 1, and if it's got all these horrible technical difficulties, because we don't know.
We need a producer.
That's right, we should get a producer.
Who's going to pay for that?
Maybe we can get a grant. Can we get a grant? This is during COVID-19. Maybe we should get a grant.
Yeah, it's a
to
COVID podcast.
Start a new business. It's a new business model. What's your model? Well, basically, we drive around and talk about bullshit all day. You think that'll take off? I go, it seems to be working well for everybody else in the world.
Sounds like a GoFundMe situation.
And so the best part of that is I realize now that they call these things podcasts, but they almost are always videotaped. So,
Correct.
So almost technically not a podcast. It's still some type of a show or a video or something.
Well, it's multimedia. You get both your audio.
That's right.
And then your, you pay extra premium for the
you want to
extra
see
visual.
You want to see what the idiots that are telling you stuff about look like. I guess there's some validity to that. I'd be like, I think they're good looking. Which also brings me to the point is I was thinking about shaving this morning, and then I said, I'm not going to shave. I'm just going to look scruffy and nasty because people need to love me for me.
There you go.
So that was my first thought. And then I was thinking maybe we should write down some topics to talk about. But then I felt like if we wrote down topics, it would be kind of like fake, or it would be like contrived in some way.
Yes, I could go with that. Definitely.
So maybe we'll just talk about whatever random shit happens.
Well, if we had a topic, then we need a guest, and then we need to get a producer to call and get the guest.
Actually,
it sounds like a lot of work.
The way the camera's set up right now, we could have a guest right there, and it would be perfect. So, if you are
pop up between the seats,
if you are like Elon Musk or maybe Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is my inspiration for this podcast because he's doing a really good podcast. It's super interesting. I guess maybe I shouldn't promote somebody else's show on our show because they would just go listen to their show.
I don't think at this level we're adding anyone to their viewing audience.
He seems to know what he's doing, so he probably. Yeah, I guess you got a point there. We're not our one follower.
Kim.
Our one follower, which is my girlfriend, is going to leave the show and go watch another show.
Oh, wow, look at that. Yeah, Elon Musk.
There it is. We're down to 0 followers again. Right back where we started. We have less followers than our show number.
Yeah, I see this at home. That's what she's going to say. This is stuff I see at home all day. Why do I need to watch it?
Maybe we should introduce ourselves. Maybe that would be good. So this handsome devil here is Greg.
Oh, if I do some fancy New Age hip sign, I don't know anything.
You can do that.
I'm not gangsta.
Yeah, and I'm just Scott, I guess. And I'm the passenger. I don't drive. I hate driving. Like I used to want to when I was a kid, I wanted to drive everywhere. 16 was like you get your driver's license, you become king of the world. $5 in gas would ride you the whole weekend. Now you couldn't pay me to drive.
No, and I keep telling my kids, you don't want to drive. Let me tell you, especially in South Florida, it's no fun.
People are such
DoorDash everything.
fucking idiots. There was a lady yesterday. I was just telling Kim this story. There was a lady yesterday, and she was sitting at the traffic light, and I noticed her because she kind of looked like my mother, and she was sitting there screaming at the people in the car with her.
Oh,
And
jeez.
she's flailing her hands about.
Are
She's
they
making hand
adults or
gestures.
kids?
Well, she was clearly Italian. I guess is that a stereotype? Well, I guess it's not a
Is
stereotype.
that like a
it's
family
true.
with her? Or?
Well, that's what the funny
Or
part
is
is.
it like
There was
other-
nobody else in the car.
Oh, okay.
So there was no one else in the car.
Phone call.
I
hope.
I hope she was on the phone because I feel like she was having a schizophrenic panic attack.
Oh, by the way, this Dunkin' Donuts commercial is
You
a
got sponsor. That's genius.
This Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee is terrific for a drive in the morning.
Why, yes, Gregory. Dunkin' Donuts is refreshing, and as we all know, America runs on Dunkin'.
That's right. Available in multiple locations.
What a great idea! We're gonna sponsor.
Every week we try a new one.
You know that scene? You know the scene in Wayne's World? I think it's Wayne's World 2.
Go ahead.
And they're like, yeah, I hate when people sell out and go all Hollywood. And he's got like a Doritos hat, or he's eating out of a Doritos bag, and he's got like a hat on for like Starbucks or something, and then the screen goes black and white, and Mike Myers says, "Yeah, Garth, don't you hate when you just get a splitting headache? Take 2 of these. They're little, yellow, different, new print." And all their commercials were like that. They were black and white with like little yellow pills.
Right.
They look like little smiley faces. They would just make your day happy. If you ate little yellow pills all day.
See, this is your good memory that really will drive this podcast.
Yes, Wayne's World.
All these
Genius
really
movie.
important facts that you can
Genius.
pull out.
I guess it is a very useful skill to have unlimited knowledge about something that is so useless. Movie quotes and movie dates, like release dates, and things like that I can retain, but like stuff like my anniversary, just nope, can't remember that.
Drive right by that one.
That was just
That's the next I just drove by.
right in and right out. So but back to Wayne's World for a second. So Wayne's World, Saturday Night Live alum Carvey and Myers, genius movie. And then I learned something, maybe not recently, but it was so interesting after I listened to all these other like people talking about. So I would listen to anybody that was an SNL alumni in some kind of interview because they're usually the most fascinating and interesting people, and they're super talented. And so, if I've been listening to things where Dana Carvey is talking about stuff, and not Mike Myers, but anyway, long story short, Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers movies was actually based on Lorne Michaels.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, so that whole Scott, I just find you so intrusive, and so apparently, and then
Does he do this a lot?
Well, no, he doesn't do this. The finger thing was added by, I think that was added by Mike Myers, but it was, I'm going to get the story wrong, but I believe it was Dana Carvey that came up with the, this is how Lauren talks, and like, so what I want you to do is I want you to go in and pitch this sketch to, Scarlett Johansson and make her think it's the best thing ever. And then anyway, so when somebody finally figured out that was Lorne Michaels, and then allegedly Mike Myers not stole it, but took it and turned it into Dr. Evil.
Right.
Super funny. So now if you watched Lorne Michaels, every once in a while he will show up on Saturday Night Live, behind the scenes,
right,
and this and that. And he does talk like this. He goes, yes, I see what you're saying. It's interesting. So he's totally. So I can't watch Austin Powers anymore because now all I see is Lorne Michaels holding a cat and sending people to their death with lasers and fire.
He was raking in the money with that shows. All the spin-off movies, I'm sure.
They all do so
That's
well.
why maybe he does do this at home. The next $1 million.
He probably sits at home going, now, do I talk like that? I don't think I say that, but maybe I do.
Well, if we ever get in an accident, we must get rid of this particular podcast we're working on.
What do you think, Jinxie? And then he strokes his hairless cat and he goes, I don't think I look like that at all. So, another interesting character, do you know who Alex Jones is?
Yeah, Nutjob.
I guess he's
on the right side.
People think he's crazy, and only
But
reason
they really love him. The people like him.
he apparently has 1 trillion followers also, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Another shout out to Joe Rogan.
Joe gets everybody.
He's on several of them, I guess, because I when I searched for it. So, I guess going back to the beginning of that story, Alex Jones gets brought up on Howard Stern quite often. They have a character that pretends to be Alex Jones, and he comes on and talks about the reptilian serpent, right side liberal media. And you got to drink these Power Plus human growth hormone pills. And so they have this Alex Jones character. So I really didn't know who Alex Jones was. So, but then I saw him on Joe Rogan's podcast, and apparently he's very popular. But somehow he's eluded me knowing about him for decades.
He's been on all the social media, and I think they've all taken him down in the last couple months.
Okay.
Or so, because of his viewpoints. Because he is a conspirator.
Right. So he was talking about. And I guess I would consider myself somebody who's into conspiracy theories or the government, playing games with things or producing things or whatever you want to talk about it. So they were talking about the moon landing, and they were talking about a bunch of other stuff. And I'm sitting here listening to this stuff, and some of the stuff he's saying makes a lot of sense. And I can't remember everything.
See, that's the problem. Little dribbles of truth draws you in.
Right. And they were talking about how Neil Armstrong had talked to him personally and told him that there were like the space landing. There was 2 different crews of astronauts up there in case, in case the real ones died. They had this crew of, actors, I guess. And they were the better looking ones. So they were like the face of the space program, according to Alex Jones. I don't know if I don't know if any of this is real or not, but according to Alex Jones, the face of the space program was these really good looking astronauts, and then they had another program up there. And then, God, you know what else this fucking lunatic was talking about? He was talking about how hurricanes are weather patterns, and hurricanes are somehow directed by the government through, I don't even remember what he said, gamma rays or some sort of weather application.
Something you can never disprove.
And again, some of it made a little sense, just a sliver, enough where I listened and go, that's interesting. I wonder if that could really be true.
Superheating the water around it.
It was like something like they were creating a cold mist or something, and that would somehow drive it this way or drive it that way. And
and then if you had that power, that'd be just a great weapon.
And then this was the best part. Bill Gates has somehow acquired all the patents to these things that create machines that create weather. So apparently, Bill Gates is the one who could obliterate the planet if he chose to.
Yeah.
So let's see. Our first podcast, we've already slammed Alex Jones, Bill Gates, the space program. We'll be shut down within minutes, I would imagine.
Any conspiracy theories, I think everyone shuts you off. Twitter.
So it's a good thing.
Unless it's a conspiracy theory that helps the Democrats, then they're like, yes, liberals.
So it's a good thing that we are in a car driving around, so we can't be pinned down by the government, because we're rolling around.
We've shut off all our GPS.
We have all our locators, and we just drive around and we try to make it.
We need to bounce signals off of other people's cars somehow.
Yes. When we started this, we should have introduced ourselves properly. We should have maybe given us the name of our little endeavor.
We're learning.
And then maybe say, so we're just driving. Oh, there we go again. That's the tech we're looking for.
We need a producer.
And we need a sun shield.
Cameraman.
Oh, we could get a cameraman strap. Everybody else in Florida drives on the hood of the car.
At least they take a ride.
Everybody else drives on the hood of the car.
You have 2 cameras too.
Why can't we do it? If my older daughter Gabriella in the car now, she would say this lighting is just superior.
Oh, this is the golden light time.
She wouldn't say superior. She would say it's bus.
What'd you say? Bus?
Bus?
Really?
I think I don't know what that means exactly.
My kids, I hear so many new terms all the time.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what it means, but I feel like it means good, right? So
Yeah,
like,
it sounds like it.
It's like sometimes she'll be eating and she'll say, "Oh, this taco is so bus," and I guess that means it's
I
good.
have not heard that yet.
Yeah, it's coming.
Oh, is it moving north?
Yeah. So, I guess maybe it's important to fun facts about ourselves for people that might be. If this is episode 1, well, maybe if we get to 2, people will want to know more interesting things about us. So maybe we should say something interesting that might keep them around, because I would have tuned out after like the 3rd minute of the phone falling on the floor.
We'll just edit this down to 1-minute segments.
We could edit it, but I feel like if we edit it, then it's kind of, again, it's more like just more, puppetry. What was I talking about?
Introductions.
Oh, introductions, that's right. So, boy, we did that. So that's Gregory, and I'm Scott, and he has a daughter that is in college going into this fall semester 2020. She's going to the University of Florida, and I have a daughter that's also going into college. If you can believe that two very well groomed and young-looking foxes. Well, not foxes. We're
not foxy.
We're not cougars either. We're handsome gentlemen. Debonair. That's good. We should wear tuxedos when we do this.
Just a little flap over.
So you should have a gimmick, right? Everybody needs a gimmick, and that way when people say, "Oh, did you listen to that podcast?" And they go,
"Guys with tuxedos."
The 2 guys with tuxedos that drive around with 2 idiots and 4 wheels.
2 debonair idiots.
And they're in tuxedos. Why are they in tuxedos? Because they drink martinis. I don't know. Of course we don't drink martinis. We drink Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, that Dunkin' Donuts. You know what? The donuts are good too.
Oh, speaking of, you know what? Oh, God.
Take 2.
Jesus Christ. What just happened? I've already screwed it up. Okay, so we said Dunkin' Donuts, and then are you kidding me? This is what happened now? Oh wait, found it. Okay, wait, it's this way. Okay, so it is now fall, even though it doesn't look like fall. It's always summer here, but this is the Dunkin' Donuts pumpkin donut.
Oh, yes.
These are bus. So I don't know if I'm gonna Greg. Would you like one?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so I'll do the taste test then.
No, I had one driving back from UF last weekend.
That's what we were talking about.
And that was yes, I was given a pumpkin donut by the wife.
Okay, so
I enjoyed it thoroughly. Coming
back from Gainesville, where, as I mentioned, Gregory's daughter goes to. Shout out to her getting into UF. That's impressive. That's a good school. That's good. What do you got? Good company.
Good company. Yes.
The swamp, they call it. In case
we got a train, so the podcast has been extended.
Oh, hey! Overtime! We got hit by the train.
It's going maybe 2 miles an hour, and it should be stopping soon, the way it usually does in the past.
Oh my God, this train is ridiculous around the town. That train right there, you catch it like every day. This is the best part about America. This is maybe the only train in America that has no schedule at all.
No, that's for sure.
It just comes and goes as it pleases. And
if I didn't stop for gas, we'd already be through it. That's basically it.
That's a good point. This is entirely your fault. That is an excellent point. That this is your fault.
I may have, if I didn't do it though, I may have run out of gas right before it.
That's a good point.
So it was a
touche. That's actually very ingenious. So, is it me because of the gas, or is it you because of the train, or is it? Wow, this train is really annoying. It's like this, honestly. So I was thinking that the drive from where you picked me up to where we need to go is like 25 miles ish, which takes maybe like 22 minutes to drive.
Yes.
So if you have a 22-minute video, that would be like a 22-minute TV show with commercials. It's just 22 minutes of content.
I can't wait to have nothing but Dunkin' Donut commercials in between our video podcast.
That's right.
8 minutes. 8 minutes of prime time sponsorship.
I saw it coming that time. I went to grab it. I still missed it.
Yes, we need a stand or a mount.
I don't know. People might find this. They might think this is the funniest thing going on in the whole show. Is that
The attempt at
the camera keeps falling off the dashboard. I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Oh, we were talking UF and colleges. My daughter, your daughter. What daughter? What month is your daughter born in?
November.
Yeah, well, mine too. 27.
I don't know what sign that
What was
is.
yours? The 26th?
20
Sagittarius
Sagittarius?
is her. Yeah.
She's pretty late. She's 28. I feel like it could change to something else. Oh, that's another thing. So on Joe Rogan's podcast, he just has this kid, Jamie, right? He calls him Young Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
And he just says, "Hey, Jamie, look that up." And then all of a sudden, boom, it appears on the screen.
Oh, very nice.
So we don't even have that. We have no intern. Look, there's no intern back here. We have no intern to look stuff up. We have no guests.
We just got that pickup for people.
I did it again. I turned it off.
Your finger.
God, why is my thumb so big?
You gotta hold by the frame.
Why is my thumb so big? Look how big it is compared to this one. It's so much bigger. I can't grab the phone without turning it off. But anyway, he could say stuff like, "Hey, Google this UFO sighting," or Google, Alex Jones goes on and talks about Hillary Clinton, how she murdered children and this and that and the other stuff.
That's definitely...
That was another thing Alex Jones talked about. He said he was talking about the really good-looking girl on, I want to say it's Fox or MSNBC.
A blonde or
Yeah.
McCallum?
No.
Not Ingram.
I should know it.
And there's a bunch of blondes on there.
This is why we should write down stuff we're going to talk about. But anyway, he was saying that
A framework.
So Alec, they took something that Alex Jones had said, and they completely twisted it all up.
No caboose.
And the train's done. That was good. Well, we'll skip Alex Jones, and we'll go back to the train. Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So, about being late. So if you are driving me to work, let's say, am I really responsible for getting myself there on time, or do I just have listen?
You're responsible for taking the guy that's driving you, so you'd have to get someone else apparently.
No, but I'm saying if I showed up late,
right? But
and then I was like, "Hey, this guy's the one driving. What do you want me to do about it? I'm just a passenger. It's his fault." Is that like a valid excuse?
You could try it, but I would say they would suggest you take a different piece of transportation, a different driver.
Also interesting. So I guess that's an interesting thing that maybe we should bring about. So that how this happened was
let's go, guy.
my car. There it goes. My car has been in the shop for so the no editing of the show has already gone. That's just gone completely into the outer world. I've literally turned off the camera 4 times. So it might feel like and I can guarantee you I haven't got the angle. I have not got the angle the same on any of these recordings, so it's going to be so obvious that it's like, oh, they stopped recording. They stopped and they put makeup on. Anyway, so that was our last turn before we get to where our destination is. So I would just kind of wrap it up by saying that my car has been in the shop for like a month, like legitimately a month in 2 different sections. Maybe it was like 3 weeks the first time. No, it's been maybe it was 5 weeks. Jesus, I don't know. That's a lot of insurance to pay for and a lot of car payment to pay for to not be driving your car. But with that said, I don't like to drive. I did say that. And so my handsome debonair friend here has been driving me, and we've been having these interesting conversations about just absolutely zero, no content at all, just nothing. And so we're going to maybe try to continue to do that, and we're going to stop here because we're here now.
Yes.
So I would exit as Lauren Michaels and say, thank you for watching show number 1. Tune in for 2.
2 idiots.
2 idiots and 4 wheels. Bye.